Hola amigos! We're back! Thanks for joining me. We're continuing our Magic Treehouse number 12, Polar Bears Pack's Bedtime by Mary Pope Osborne. I'm here in my backyard. I wonder where you are listening to this story. Well, can you help me remember what happened at the end of chapter 6? That's right. Jack had remembered the seal hunter said polar bears can fly. Because remember, they were crawling on the ice. So chapter 7 begins on page 47, página 47. And the title is Spirit Lights. Jack, you can get up now, said Annie. Jack opened his eyes. Annie was standing over him. She still had her mask on. We're on safe ground, she said. Jack felt as if he'd been dreaming. He looked around. They reached the tundra at the edge of the frozen sea. The cubs were romping in the distance, but their mother was sitting nearby, gazing at Jack and Annie. She waited to make sure we were safe, said Annie. Jack stared at the polar bear in awe. The words of the seal hunter came back to him. Always thank the animal spirits. We should thank the polar bear spirit now, he said. Of course, said Annie. Jack scrambled to his feet, still wearing his bear mask. He stood before the polar bear and pressed his hands together. We thank you, he said, bowing. Yes, we thank you forever, said Annie, bowing. And we thank you beyond the moon and the stars, said Jack. And beyond the deepest sea, said Annie. Then she threw out her arms and twirled around, and Jack did the same. They both danced around in the snow, honoring the bear. Finally, they stopped and bowed one more time. At that moment, when they looked up, the polar bear rose up on her hind legs. She was twice as tall as Jack. She lowered her huge head as if she was bowing back to them. At that moment, the sky exploded. The night became a giant swirl of red, green, and purple lights. It looked like a genie coming out of a magic lamp. The sight took Jack's breath away. He stared in wonder as the dazzling lights lit the tundra. Is it the polar bear's spirit? Annie asked in a hushed voice. As far as Jack could see, the sky and snow shimmered. Even the bear's fur shimmered in the strange light. No, it's not a spirit, said Jack. There's got to be a scientific reason. I'll find out. Shaking, he reached into his backpack and pulled out the Arctic book. He took off his bear mask and put on his glasses. By the greenish glow, Jack found a picture of the skylights. The picture didn't come close to the real thing. He read aloud. One of the most amazing sights in the Arctic is the northern lights. The swirl of light is caused by electrically charged particles from the sun striking atoms and molecules in the Earth's atmosphere. Wow. There is a scientific reason, said Jack. It's not just the spirits. Then suddenly all the dancing lights were gone, as if someone had blown out a candle. The magic had ended. Chapter 8, capítulo 8, página 52. Riddle solved. Now only the moon shone on the snow. Jack looked around for the polar bear. She was gone. Where'd she go? Asked Annie. I don't know, said Jack. He looked over the tundra. There was no sign of the giant bear or her cubs. Maybe she's not interested in scientific reasons, Jack said. Annie sighed. She took off her bear mask and handed it to Jack. He put both their masks into his pack. Now what? Asked Annie. They looked around. The vast fields of snow ended in darkness. Jack had no idea where they were. He shrugged. I guess we just have to walk and hope for the best. Wait, Listen, said Annie. From the distance came howling sounds. They grew louder and louder. Yay, we don't have to wait long, said Annie. The huskies are coming. Howling filled the night as the dog sled came into view. The seal hunter was running beside it. We're here, over here, called Jack. He ran toward the sled. Annie followed. I was afraid you were lost, said the seal hunter. We were, said Annie, and we got stuck on thin ice, but the polar bear helped us. Yes, said Jack, and we wore your masks and they made us feel like bears. Yes, the masks made us brave, said Annie. She caught her breath. Oh, wait, said Jack. Annie's words sounded familiar. He took out his notebook and read Morgan's riddle aloud. I cover what's real and hide what's true. And sometimes I bring out the courage in you. What am I? What do you think, friends? A mask! Jack and Annie said together. The seal hunter smiled. You knew, said Annie. It was for you to discover, said the seal hunter, not me. Jack pulled the bear mask out of his backpack. Here, he said, thanks a lot. The hunter took the masks and put them inside his parka. We can go home now, said Jack. Do you mind taking us back to the treehouse, said Annie. The seal hunter shook his head. Climb on, he said. Jack and Annie climbed onto the dog sled. Mush, said the seal hunter. Mush, said Annie. Mush, said Jack. It's fun. Snow began to fall as they took off across the dark ice. And that, friends, is the end of chapter 8, capítulo 8. And we'll read the next 2 chapters in the last video we have for polar bears past bedtime. Hope you enjoyed. It was so fun solving the riddle. Mush! Until next time.